Hello and welcome to We the Podcast. This podcast episode features Nothing Up My Sleeve with Glenn Chelius and Nino Cruz.
Hi, I'm Mark Presley. People's American Stories.
People's American Stories.
People's American Stories.
Hello, I'm Mark Presley with People's American Stories. And with me today we have Glenn Chelius and Nino Cruz, who are the producers of the famous Nothing Up My Sleeve magic production at the Rowell Theater in Crystal Lake, Illinois. This is the 8th year running in the Nothing Up My Sleeve production. For first-class entertainment, Las Vegas style, I give the Nothing Up My Sleeve 5 stars. They even had a special tribute to the famous Marshall Brodeen, also known as the famous Wizzle Bozo Circus. So please, let's give a warm welcome to Glenn Chelius and Nino Cruz as they talk about their success in the Nothing Up My Sleeve production. How we doing, Nino and Glenn?
Hey, Mark. We're great. How are you?
All right, thanks for being on the show. So, you know, it was a great show. I was there Saturday night. Well, actually, of course I was there. I was doing the video.
Thank you for doing that too, Mark.
Hey, no problem. Now, what I wanted to do is just for our listeners, some people might not even heard of the Nothing Up My Sleeve. Can you tell me, what is Nothing Up My Sleeve? How did you get this name? Who are you guys? Where'd you come from?
Well, I grew up in Chicago, and when I was in McHenry, I met Glenn Chelius back in the day when he was with the Rowell Center, and they had some remodeling, and he said, hey, I got an idea, why don't you join me and help produce this? And so I was a co-producer under Glenn, and Glenn got involved with the Rowell, but hey, you know what? Here, Glenn, why don't you tell him a little bit about the history there? Yeah, sure. Yeah, like Nino said, they were refurbishing, remodeling the Rowell Center, bringing it back to what it is today, a beautiful theater.
Yes, it is. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It was the El Tovar back in 1929, and like many of the old vaudeville theaters, eventually became a movie theater and then actually became shut down. But it's the Rowell Center for the Arts, and named after the Rowell family in Crystal Lake that donated a lot of money to get it to what it is today. And I got involved on the marketing committee there, and my background has always been in magic and the arts and theater, and I had this dream of having a magic show there and a fundraiser at that,
right,
to help further the arts and do some good for the theater there in Crystal Lake, bring families in, have a family-friendly show, and just have a lot of fun with it. And at the time, Steve Ducrow was the executive director of the Rowell Center, and he coined the name Nothing Up My Sleeve, and I thought it was brilliant, and it stuck.
Right.
And Nino's artwork has turned it into what it is today, the logo and our brand, and so there's the name Nothing Up My Sleeve. And we did a lot of, remember we combed through all our archives and business cards, and we kind of weeded out until we found some really good top entertainers. And Marshall, we contacted him when we had our own cable access show, TV Magic show, and him, Mark Holstein, his wife, and this whole thing came together by a meeting of the minds, so to speak. And
right,
we didn't really, after the third show, Glenn, we didn't really need to get out there and do any more scouting because everyone started coming to us. Yeah, they really liked what we had put together and wanted to be a part of it. And so the sweat and the tears and the blood,
yeah,
literally, kind of. Yeah, we were on our way, and people wanted to be part of it. And the Marshall Brodeen, his name obviously was a big part of that too. Is
oh sure, it's a well-known name,
well respected, well known, and anybody wanted to be part of anything he was part of. So he really helped us greatly get this thing launched. Back when we started, and we've really been working on. Even though it's our 8th show, we've been working on this for about 10 years.
Right.
It started a year before, and then we changed the time from having it in September, right after the Johnny Appleseed Festival,
right,
to doing it in April.
So April kind of has been working out for you better?
April, yeah, it really works out well. People are coming back from spring break,
right.
And they're, they want to get out of the house.
Not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah, live entertainment's always good, and so, it worked out well for us.
Well,
even though we have only one show in evening, we started out, was it the third year, Glenn? We had 2 shows, a matinee and then an evening show. Now that was work.
Yeah, I bet.
That was. Doing 2 shows was a lot of work, for sure.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I've really noticed with you guys is you always seem to come up with something to draw in the crowd. Like one year I was there, I think it was Nino, he did like a straitjacket, and it was just crazy because he was actually hanging from the ceiling and upside down in a straitjacket. So I thought that was really neat.
I got to tell you, that caused a lot of stress and worry for the technical director and the crew there at the Rouse Center that night, because it wasn't something that they were real keen on us doing, but to build it as the human wrecking ball.
Yeah.
It was hard to get their blessing, but we did, and he pulled it off, and it was pretty cool. It had never been done before in that theater, and I don't think it'll ever be done again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we also had the professional Cliff hanger who owned his own company, instead of me going to one of these superstores and just buying some regular rope.
Right.
And I knew that was bad when this guy said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You got to get the special rope." Yeah, but it fell on my head, bonk. And, and we came up with different variety acts, from jugglers and vaudeville like Bob Rumba and Andy Head and Circus Boy. It wasn't just strictly magic and illusion.
Well, we're going to have to wrap it up here. This is Mark Presley right here on People's American Stories. This is Nothing Up My Sleeve, podcast episode 1 of 3. And if you have an American story that you would like featured on We the Podcast right here at peoplesamericanstories.info, visit our website, fill out the podcast form, and you too can be a guest on We the Podcast. To continue the Nothing Up My Sleeve podcast, please go to part 2. Thank you.